Hi, I'm Sue Daley and I'm back with you again with our Just Like a Jigsaw. We're up to month 9. We are running a little bit behind the 8 ball, but it's okay. I'm still going to give you a few tips on how to put these shapes together. So month 9 is your 1-inch octagon and your 1-inch square. So with these, there's a few different ways you can put them together. On your layout, there's some particular ways that we've shown you, but there's many, many more ways that you can put these two shapes together. And then by adding other shapes, you can create other designs as well, and it becomes more interesting. So I'm going to show you today, I'm going to work on my black book, my trusty black book that I work with all the time. And I'm going to show you on here how I've laid some of these shapes together so you can get an idea of what you can do with your shapes when you get them. Okay, so as I said before, we're starting with a 1-inch octagon and a 1-inch square. The 1-inch measures along the side of your shape. So we've got a 1-inch along each side of the octagon. An octagon has 8 sides, and your square is 1 inch on each side. So what happens with these shapes when you put them together, it depends on the angle as to whether they're going to marry together. So things like your octagon and your 1-inch square, we have right angles in here, and there's a lot of other shapes that'll work with that. So you can use half square triangles, you can use 8-pointed stars. There's many things you can work in here, and your elongated hexagon. But first of all, I'm going to start off with your octagon, sorry. So we're going to make a ring of octagons. Just by putting them round in a circle like this. And it's much like, you know, that's why we call it just like a jigsaw. It's much like a jigsaw. If it goes together, it sews together. So if the piece fits, it's all good. And then we're going to just take an elongated hexagon this time and pop it in the middle. Let's take some more over here. And pop him in the middle of there. So we're going to have 4 of those. So we have 8 octagons on the outside, and we've got 4 1-inch elongated hexagons in the middle. And then I'm just going to drop a 1-inch square in here into each one of these. And so there you have a completely different design. Straighten it up. A completely different design. So you can then join these together. You make a whole bunch of these and join them together with some common fabric in here. You can make it very scrappy, or you can just make single blocks and then applique them onto the background fabric. Okay, so that's one design, and now I'll move on to the next one. Okay, another design that you can work with is your octagons again, and we'll just put them together around the outside of a square. Okay, then we can add the elongated hexagons again, so they're 1 inch, and pop them in here, and make a little star with this one. So you're virtually making 2 blocks. I'm going to pop the square in the side here. Okay, so basically you've got 2 blocks there, this one and this one. So you can do a whole quilt just making these 2 blocks and then joining them all together. So it's a great way to, you know, you can do some fussy cutting in the middle here. These are the same shape that were used in the Lucy Boston Quilt of the Crosses quilt, and we've all seen on social media the wonderful designs that people get with their fabrics just using this one single shape. So you can create great ideas with this, but again, a different idea of what to do with those shapes just by adding the elongated hexagon. So on the back of your design sheet, you have a layout at the bottom, and it's showing your octagons running down in a vertical line with your elongated hexagons and squares. So that's one row of octagons, one row of elongated hexagons and squares, one row of octagons, so on and so on. You can change that up a little bit and run 2 rows of octagons and squares, and then 1 row of elongated hexagons and squares, and then 2 rows of octagons with squares. So there's many different ways that you can do this. It's all about just playing.